And I had a husband and somebody hit my husband, it's over, right?
Yes,
It's
yes,
totally over, right? I'm jumping
absolutely.
over all kind of table and chairs.
I totally agree because you do protect your man just like he would protect you. But it's also a reflex, I think, or an impulse of when you love someone, you want to protect them.
Yeah.
Also, like the audacity, like, did you really just punch my husband? You could punch me and try that and see if you get away with it. But why are you punching my man? Like, for what?
I mean, yeah, for real. Like you get more heated if it's your dude or your child or than it
Yeah,
would be for you. You could probably like, turn back around and, turn the other cheek for yourself, but
that's what I was saying.
your
Like, punch me.
family? Yeah,
Yeah,
no. I don't think so. I'd be crawling over stuff to get to that person.
exactly. Well, you know what, Kai? Guess what? So her friend Nancy, she is crawling over stuff to get to that person. Because you know what she does? Nancy punches her right back. And she's like,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, she does. And so now basically at this point, everyone are in fisticuffs. They're just like boom, punch, boom, boom, my turn, next. You throwing things around. It was just like a bar brawl in a beautiful home. That's crazy. And so then finally, Angela's like, okay, you know what? Mike, you started all of this. This is all your fault. And she threatens her husband. She goes, Mike, I'm going to the police. I'm going to tell them everything that you're doing to our dear friend Sam. So she has some juicy information on Mike. They have a friend named Sam. Sam is technically a client at the same clinic or practice that Mike has worked at for years. Okay. Sam is also, not only did he have disability issues, but he also had, well, mental disability issues, but he also, um, well, besides substance abuse, but he also happened to be an heir to a nice estate of millions. And so it just so happened that they were very, very close to Sam. Like, for example, this is how Mike's personality goes from hot to cold. One night they were playing a game. They were playing Monopoly, as a matter of fact, right? It was basically Angela and Sam. Okay, Sam Lee. His last name is Lee. Sam Lee. So Sam Lee and Angela are playing Monopoly. That sounds like fun. And then so she goes, "Oh, hey, Sam, I made your favorite dinner tonight." And Sam's like, "Oh, what did you make me?" Because he's almost like the mind of a child, the way that he carries himself, and it's just his mindset, his disposition, all of that. So he says, "Oh, yay, we're gonna have spaghetti." And she goes, "Yes, Mike, I know you love spaghetti." He goes, "Yeah, but do you have Parmesan cheese?" And she says, "Oh no, we don't. We don't have Parmesan cheese, Mike. I mean, not Mike." She goes, Sam. She goes, "Hey, Mike, Mike, hold on for a minute." She goes, "Sam, let me just find out something. Can you please just go to the store and get some Parmesan cheese for us? Because he really wants that and we're going to eat pretty soon." And he goes, "No, get it yourself." And she's like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Mike, seriously, I mean, it's not going to take that long. Can you look? The store is not that far." He says, "I said no." And she's like, "Whoa, okay, I see where you're."
I'd be like, well, okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pack this bag here and I'll go get my own cheese. You won't see me tomorrow or the day
or the
after
next
or the
day.
day after that.
The next day.
But I'm gonna go get my own cheese though.
I know exactly. And so, and so basically, what I'm doing at this point is I'm trying to get. I want you guys to imagine anyone who is that close to you in your home that hangs out, plays Monopoly with you, plays games with you. You make them lovely dinners. You really enjoy their company. This was going on for years, during the course of their marriage. So Mike just had a sneaky little secret. He had total access to Sam Lee. Sam Lee loved them. He loved them both together and he trusted them, basically. So it's just kind of like, okay. So now to get back to the dinner, that infamous, I want to call it the dinner debacle. Oh my God, it was so crazy. So a few days after the dinner with their friends, Angela, or I mean their friends, Angela, with their friends, Angela and Mike took a leisurely walk out into the woods. They had another friend, a close friend named Michelle. Okay, Michelle actually has a husband as well, because this is one of their other double daters. But at this particular time, they just wanted to all go hiking and just go for a beautiful walk. Because just imagine how lovely the environment is there, the terrain in Alaska. There's got to be lots of trails. If you're a trail person that likes to go walking, or you want to see, nature, wilderness, or the wild animals, not too wild, hopefully not bears, but it's kind of it just sounds like it would be something fun to do, I think. I mean, it just sounds fun to me. But so they're out
No,
walking.
it totally sounds fun. But like you said, not bears, wolves. What's the other one?
Right.
No, moose is only Canada though, right?
No, are you kidding? Do you know a wolf and a coyote are very, is almost the same thing? We have plenty
I
of.
said moose. I said
Oh, I thought you
moose is
said
only in
wolf.
Canada, right?
Oh
I did
yeah,
say wolf.
yeah.
I said bears, wolf, and then
Oh
I said
yeah,
moose
moose.
is only
Yeah,
in Canada, right?
yeah. I guess I would say they're all in or in Alaska, Alaska and Canada. Is that what you're saying? They have moose in
What
Alaska.
I'm asking is, yeah, that's what I was asking. Do
Oh,
moose migrate into Alaska,
oh
or
yes,
are they only
yes,
in Canada?
yes, yes. They do. So they do have moose there.
Okay.
So what Kai and I are saying is we don't want to see any moose. We don't want to see any bears. We don't want to see any buffalo. No, buffalo. I don't know. We just don't.
Buffalo.
That's going towards Montana. So it's come back down the map. But we don't want to see a really large animal, and definitely not, a wolf or anything like that. So it's like no. But yeah, so they're out, just having a leisurely stroll, basically at this point. Okay, Angela says, "Hey, Michelle, this is her other friend. Can I talk to you for a moment?" She goes, "Sure. What about?" She goes, "Privately." It's like, "Okay, well, what's going on?" She goes, "Listen, if anything ever happens to me, please, could you do me a favor and take good care of Mike for me?" And her friend goes, "Mike?" She goes, "Yeah, just promise me that if anything ever happens to me, that you'll take good care of my husband." And she goes, "Well, sure, Angela. I mean, okay. I mean, it's if that's what you want. I mean, it's kind of like, why are you saying anything like that? What the friends did admit that they felt weird about that conversation. Well, when I say friends, her friend Michelle told her husband, of course, and so they felt really weird about that conversation. But what's even more odd, what's even more strange, or not strange, but really probably a good thing. Remember the dinner party? Of course, those friends, Craig and Nancy. Craig and Nancy started talking about the debacle with each other, and they felt like there's some foul play that's about to happen with Mike and Angela, especially particularly Mike, of course. And they they hadn't seen her in a few days. Okay, like as a matter of fact, 3 days. They hadn't seen Angela in 3 days. I believe they had tried to contact her by phone. I don't know if they drove by the house or, or even, let's see, cell phones. Yeah, cell phones were out then, but they couldn't reach her for whatever reason. They started putting two and two together and they said, I think Angela's been trying to, when she yelled at everyone that night at the party, I think she was trying to tell us something because she threatened him that she knew something about him that she was taking to authorities. And they were like, I wonder if Angela's really missing for 3 days, like Mike said. So what happens is at this point, oh my gosh, it's so weird. So at this point, when they're on their walk privately, she says that to her other friend. A few days later, Mike gets a phone call from authorities that his wife was missing because the original friends that we talked about, Craig and Nancy, they actually contacted the police and said, "Hey, listen, our friend Angela, we haven't heard from her in a few days, and she and my wife talk pretty much every day. And when we spoke with Mike, he just kind of said that he didn't know what was going on, that maybe she just left for a couple of days, And so Mike tells the authorities, basically what he did was he lied to them and the friends with the story that she was missing. He said, I have no idea where she's gone, and that she asked me for $10,000 to start a new life without him. He claims he gave her the money and she was fine. She was like, okay, good, cool. I've got money, I'm good to go. I don't need anything else from you. I just need my space. She he kind of told them that her alcoholism was getting out of hand again, and that they just weren't going to be able to continue the marriage in that manner. So she just kind of ran off like, "Hey, I'm just going to go and give you your space, but I need money." I mean, this is crazy. So the authorities were kind of like, um, "Okay, well, I guess we'll call off the search," because he's letting them know that she's not dead. You see, this was just his.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, you do what you do. Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. So, what happened was, as you go a little bit further along here in time, over time, it was found out that Mike, well, first of all, he calls the authorities called back again, okay? And they said, Mike, hey, listen, we know that she actually is not missing. We know that Angela, or no, this is what he did. He knew the authorities were on to him. So he actually called them and said, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did lie about her missing because I was embarrassed because of the level to where her temperament and her substance abuse had gone. He said, I was just so embarrassed about it. He said, what really happened, listen to this, what really happened was that Angela died from liver failure after decades of substance abuse, and I had her cremated. So what he did was he sent,
Wow.
yeah, he did. Do you know this man actually took his time, recorded a video of himself with the cream, with her ashes, well, I don't know if there are ashes in there, but in an urn. He had an urn. He sends this video to his friends because he knew they would show investigators. So then the investigators, they said, well, listen, if she was cremated, where's the death certificate? Because they could not even locate a death certificate for her. They couldn't locate one for her. It was later proven that she was murdered by her husband. You see how it all starts coming together?
Yeah, how is it proven though?
Well, because, oh, you know how it was proven? Because there was a highway that she was found on. Her body was found, as a matter of fact, it's called, it's like a really very desolate area called Glen Highway in Homer, Alaska. And she was just found there. I mean, just, at first they thought it was an animal or something.
Mm.
Later proven that it wasn't an animal, because there's so many, that area just has so many wild animals and just people that are randomly just walking around and all of that. So on June the 18th, 2010, was, you know, it's like, hey, this is actually a woman. Well, not just a woman. I'm sorry, I don't think they knew that. They're like, hey, this is a human being. Oh my God, we have a murder case in our hands here. You know, so this woman did not die from liver failure at all. At the time of her death, she was age 44, which is, it's really sad because she was young. She shouldn't have died. And it was found out after they looked at all the forensics reports and everything. The sad thing about it was that he beat her to death. That's actually how she died.
Good Lord.
Hands of someone that said they loved her. Yes. And the reason he did it, his motive, and I'm pretty sure you're going to understand this. Now, remember, he's seen other women anyway. Okay.
Wait, you're gonna understand? You're gonna think I understand why somebody murdered somebody else? Is it
No,
because
no, no, no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know?
no. But, well, not necessarily that. But what I'm saying is, if you can see where his crazy head was, where he believes his motive was, is that it's greed. Basically, I'm going to say it's greed altogether because they found out later on that, see, Sam Lee had a $3 million inheritance, and thus far,
Oh wow.
yeah. So for the last couple of years, though, Mike had managed to swindle hundreds of thousands of dollars from Sam Lee and an entire house, like a beautiful. I think it's the house that maybe it's the house that they owned, that he and Angela, had, that what they lived in throughout their marriage. I'm not sure. They didn't say that part, but the fact is that he had a beautiful, expensive house, and he had access to the trust fund, the multi-million-dollar trust fund. So after he beat his wife to death, he actually dumps her in a lake nearby, near Homer. And so not only was he a murderer, but he also he's a thief. He's a thief. I mean, this is just what he is. And for